I am Danielle. I'm here at Paramount and I'm with our lovely owner, Ruth, who has recently had some refurbishment work done at her property. So, Ruth, could you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Hello, hi Danielle. So yes, I'm Ruth and I have a flat in West Hampstead, which I've had for a long time, probably about, I'm going to say it's nearly over 20 years, I think, a really long time. Never purchased as a buy-to-let. It was bought to live in and I lived in it for a year. 1 year, but then I moved up north and I was always intending to come back, but I didn't. And so that's just the way it worked out. And Paramount have been looking after my flat since I moved out of London. Yeah, so very important for me that my flat is looked after while I'm not around, basically.
What made now the time to do work on the flat?
It was natural time to do it because the tenants were moving out. And I think that is always a time where you just kind of have another look at the flat and, take stock of what needs to be done. And I think there were a few things that were probably a bit overdue that needed to be done.
What was the process like for you kind of planning initially? So I know that Spencer had gone in and done a property review and kind of suggested what sort of needs looking at and what would be a good idea to look at in the future.
Yeah.
So what was that process like for you and how did you make the decision on the things to do today and then the things to do a little bit further down the line?
Yeah, so Spencer was brilliant. He went into the flat and he did this like a whole assessment of things that he thought needed updating, things that were kind of, really I couldn't really wait around. They just needed to be done. And, a few things that maybe were suggestions that I hadn't thought of as well. So some things that I'd never even crossed my mind about some things. And, I thought, yeah, that's actually a really good idea.
Hey Ruth, I'm just inside your kitchen and there's your new window in. So behind the cupboard that we've taken off is just some wood chip. We're going to remove that. And actually, Vittel, can you just move to the right, just so I can show? So we're just going to leave it. We're not going to put any cupboards there. It just makes the room feel much, much bigger.
So obviously Spencer, that is what he does. He's an expert in this. So he was really good at looking at it with a really keen eye. And to answer your question, the process was great. It was really smooth. He went in, he did like a video where he sort of went around the flat and showed me everything that he was picking up that might need attention.
We've got the kitchen guy coming to measure up for this one, and this one. Hopefully we can make that work. That's your new room stat. We've removed that. Removed the carbon monoxide detector because it's up there now. We've put a little door stop here just so it stops hitting.
Did you find that the communication on WhatsApp, so sending the photos and the videos, did you find that gave you the sort of trust and reassurance that everything was going to plan?
So the communication at Paramount is exceptional, I think. Really, really good. I didn't expect the sort of video thing where Spencer sort of did this whole sort of 5-10 minute video about what he was suggesting. I didn't know what to expect. I just thought maybe I'd get an email, but it was a lot more than that. It was much, much more in depth. I got WhatsApps, I got photos, I got videos, and excellent. Really, really good communication.
In here, into bathroom, new window, locks, trickle vent. We're painting this ceiling. I'm going to change this little hook here, because you can see, I don't know if you can, that's rusty. And that basically just keeps the pull cord out of the way of the door. So it is an important little hook. New feeds to the rad, new floorboards in. We're going to lose the blind because you just literally don't need one because you've got opaque glass.
And on top of that, just like really nice, friendly, approachable people to deal with in general. Like you can just ring up about something really that you think is just something too small to ask, but it's not. They'll just, nothing is really too much trouble, I think.
And so now that we're at the end of the refurb, what are your impressions on it?
Well, yeah, I'm delighted. I'm absolutely delighted. The only bad thing is that I haven't been there to see it in person, but obviously I've seen loads of fantastic pictures and I've had films, and the flat just looks great. It's just been completely reinvented and I feel much more connected with it. I feel a bit more like, oh yeah, that's a great flat, you know. It's just like it's really lucky that I've got that, and I could see why a tenant would want to live, you know. I'd like to live there. It looks great. It just looks really nice.
It was relet instantly, so as soon as it hit the market, you achieved the uplift that you had hoped for.
Honestly, Danielle, it is more important to me to have great tenants. That is the most important thing to me. I mean, it's nice that you know, yeah, it's great that there's a bit extra, but the most important thing for me is really great tenants who are going to look after my flat. You know what, there's something else that I'd just like to say as well, how great the others are. Pretty much everybody that I speak to at Paramount is really nice to deal with. I think that's one of the things that has meant that I've stayed with you so long. Because everyone's just so approachable and nice.
So now that these works are done, looking into the future, the next couple of years, maybe 5 years, 10 years, what do you plan to do with this property? How do you see it going?
I think I'm not very good at looking really far into the future, but certainly for the next few years, I'm very happy with just keeping the property rented out as it is, keeping on top of the maintenance, just making sure I've got really great tenants. And for the time being, I think that is how I feel about the future plans.